I own a lot of cameras, like probably too many, but that's because it took me a really long time to figure out the style I wanted and then figure out a way to achieve that style, which it's 35mm Kodak film, I should have just known. Anywho, people are always asking me, Becca, what camera should I buy? Guys, that's a loaded question. There are a lot of fish in the sea, aka cameras, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. And this is Workflow, it's all about what we personally use, so keep in mind this is my personal arsenal, and what you use is probably different, and if we could all have Leicas, come on, we'd all buy a Leica. First and foremost, have some self-awareness. What are you using this camera for? In my eyes, there are 3 types of amateur photographers. You have your Instagrammers, you have your Instagrammers with nice cameras, and then you have your I take nice photos at family events and maybe I make a couple of bucks on the weekend shooting headshots or weddings. But let's start with our Insta addicts. For you probably don't want to be taking extra gear around, you probably don't really know what an f-stop is. That's not a bad thing, you just don't know what it is. And you want something that's portable, easy, and can take with you anywhere. Just use your phone. Buy a Pixel 3. Get an iPhone XR or XS or one of the newest iPhones. The photos are honestly banging. And if you don't believe me, check out one of our reviews, especially the Pixel 3 review. We put them head to head and I was kind of shocked. Moving on, we have our there's no way that was shot on a phone Instagrammers, or the novice travel photographer. You want something light and portable, maybe gives you a little depth of field, and most importantly, doesn't have you looking at a phone every time you want to take a photo. For that, I use a Sony RX100 Mark IV, but I would say that Canon's G7X Mark II or Lumix LX100 Mark II are great options as well. These are a step above your phone's camera, and for around $1,000, they have really nice specs. I mean, they can shoot RAW, so if you're doing any post-processing, you'll have a lot of latitude in your photos. They have 4K, really sharp video, better than what your phone could do. They just have a bigger sensor, so everything's a little bit cleaner. I really like about these cameras is the EVF, or electronic viewfinder. It shows you exactly what your photo is gonna look like when you hit the shutter button. Now, there's no fancy attachments. You only get the lens that comes on it, but if you're not looking to really get to know photography, this could be a great gateway to just dabble or dip your toes. Becca, come on. I know what an f-stop is. Awesome. So let's talk about the big guys here. Those are the mirrorless and the DSLRs. They're definitely a step above what we've talked about previously. I mean, you're talking about lenses and batteries and bigger bodies and a price tag of at least $2,000 for just the body of the camera alone, and then a good lens is going to be $1,000. There's just a lot more stuff, including the knowledge that you'll have to use it. But let's talk. For that, I use the 5D Mark III, and at night I use an A7S Mark II. Here's why. The 5D is incredible. I just really like its texture of its photos. I'm really used to the Canon ecosystem, including the menus and the buttons. I just don't think it performs well at night. I don't feel comfortable pushing its ISO. Now the A7S Mark II does really well in low light. Also, the A7S has an EVF, and that bright viewfinder makes all the difference for shooting at night, for me. Your camera is something very personal. It's something that you're gonna hold in your hand more than hopefully your phone or anything else. So go to the store, test them out, feel it for yourself, and get what feels best to you, because you're the one shooting with it, and hopefully it's something that makes you want to shoot more. All of these cameras are great, but they have their flaws. So if I could have one camera that does everything I need, it would look a little bit like this. The most important thing for me is a small camera body. It's the main reason I love my RX100 so much, not to mention the single action electronic viewfinder and crazy movable screen. I do wish it came with a grip though, it's super slippery. So let's grab the small grip from the Fuji X70 and put it on the body of the RX100 Mark VI. Now with my eye to the viewfinder, I really like having my shutter speed and f-stop on my left hand. Before digital controls, these options were built into the lenses, and in using a lot of film cameras, I've totally become accustomed to this. Nikon's f-mount hasn't changed since 1959, and is still compatible with their camera bodies today. I appreciate that, and I have a lot of f-mount lenses, and I'm gonna put an f-mount lens system on this camera. Alright, moving to the top, I super dig the dials on top of Fuji cameras. In general, I've really appreciated how Fuji has kept their controls on the outside of their cameras instead of menus or via buttons. So let's grab that dial on top, but I'm gonna make it an ISO dial that I can program to be different increments. Also, I'm gonna grab that hot shoe mount for a mic or a flash. Alright, it's that time, let's talk about a sensor. I'm gonna take the sensor from the Sony a7R Mark III. That low light range has me sold, and it's 42 megapixels. I mean, come on. And since this is my dream camera, on the side, we're putting a headphone jack, we're putting an XLR input, USB-C, micro HDMI, and internally, there's definitely built-in NDs. Anywho, you got the camera, you got literally the sickest shot you've ever taken in your life, and you want to make some tight edits and then post it somewhere. If I'm on my phone or using my RX100, I usually just use Instagram's in-house editing tools. I'm typically only like muddying the blacks with some blue and upping the contrast, and that does everything I need. But if I wanted to take it a step further, Lightroom is incredible on mobile, and better yet, it's free. So if you don't have this downloaded and you make edits to photos on your phone, go right now. If I'm on my desktop, that usually means that I shot on an A7S or a Canon and I have a raw file. And for that, Lightroom all the way. It is expensive, but it has all of the tools and I'm really used to it. Now, some people complain about its workflow. It can be like confusing, like where did all my photos go? But as long as you keep your folders organized and you're starring things and then deleting things you don't need, it's really not that hard. Lightroom, expensive. So if you don't quite have the money for that, there's this awesome program called Raw Therapy. It can open RAW and TIFF and JPEG files, and it has a lot of tools that Lightroom has, but it's free, and they're constantly making updates to it via their blog. So check them out. This series wouldn't be possible without our sponsor, Capital One. They're reimagining banking by offering accounts that have no fees or minimums and can be opened from anywhere in 5 minutes. Capital One. What's in your wallet? I know I didn't mention a single Fuji camera, and I'm so sorry because they have a cult following, and I know you're out there, including one of our directors here, Viren. He loves his. I just had never got into it, but soon enough I'll get my hands on one and I'll be #FujiFrames too, so hold tight for that, all right? And for now, let's make bad decisions and fly drones inside.